I played with probably 20 guys in the minor leagues that were way more talented than I was that never made it to the big leagues. Why was that? Well, because they had it and they're here, but they didn't have it here. So luckily I got this opportunity. I'm sitting in the backyard in this little John boat on this little tiny pond. And I just made a commitment to myself right there. I made a commitment to God right there that from then on, I was going to throw every pitch like it was the last pitch of the World Series. With that much conviction, with that much intent, with that much belief that this matters so much. I was going to play catch between starts. Every throw was like it was the last pitch of the World Series. I was going to do every rep in the weight room. Every rep was going to be like it was the last pitch of the World Series, with that kind of intent, that kind of focus, that kind of importance put on every single moment. And wouldn't you know that it took me 3, maybe 4, all 4 months of the offseason to really have that sink in. It takes so many repetitions to make something stick. And as I showed up for spring training that following year, now I have all this new intent, this focus, this mindset difference, this different body because I'm finally getting after it. You know, there was a meanness in my eyes that wasn't there before, that was authentic, because you can say you're good all you want to, but if you don't believe it, it doesn't matter a hill of beans. Mm-hmm. So I walk onto the first bullpen mound and to throw my bullpen practice pitching session in front of our pitching coach, legendary Dave Duncan. He's had like 6 Cy Young winners. He's seen me a lot. He's seen all kinds of amazing guys. The Cy Young pitcher from the year before was on our team, Chris Carpenter. And I walk into spring training that year, the only guy cut the year before, the last guy. And I found out they almost non-tendered, like they almost took me off the roster completely, the 40-man roster. I'm standing on the rubber, and before I threw my first pitch, the pitching coach looked at me and said, "Something is different about you." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "What is it?" And I said, "Just watch." And I throw my bullpen. Every pitch was the last pitch of the World Series. I get off the mound. I flip him the ball, and he says, "I like it. Stay right there." So here it was. I just got kicked off, or I just got sent out. The only guy sent out. I was never going to pitch in the playoffs. They would have called the water boy up. You know, the guy, the clubhouse attendant from AA, they would have called up, and he would have pitched before I pitched. That's how little faith they had in me. So I get to pitch in. I did the same thing all spring training. I get to pitch in 9 spring training games. I gave up 2 hits, 9 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 12 strikeouts, no walks. Just coming right at everybody with everything I had. Strike 1, bam. Strike 2, bam. Break your bat. Strike 3, see ya. So Tony La Russa calls me in the office, our manager, and he says, "I don't know how you did it or what you did, but you just made our team, and you were terrible last year. So good. Stay right there." Same thing. Stay right there. Same thing Dave just said.
Right.
So what did I do? Stayed right there. I pitched in 62 regular season games that year. Every pitch like it was the last pitch of the World Series. I started out the long man, last guy in the bullpen, Then every opportunity I got, didn't know when that was going to be. And it usually I came in the game when the starter didn't go so long, but I always had to be ready. So when I got in the game, every pitch, last pitch of the World Series, here we go, bam. I'm focused. I have intent. I'm going to execute. I have a plan. Here it comes. I'm going to do it. Not, I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Didn't make it that time. I'm going to do it. Here it comes right here. Bam, right back in the action. Now all of a sudden I start pitching the 7th inning. And I start pitching the 8th inning. And our closer gets hurt, like a month left in the season. I'm the closer now. So now I'm closing out big league games a year after I was the last guy in the bullpen, only 1 sent out. I pitched, I think, 9 more appearances in the postseason. And I closed out the National League DS, the National League CS, and the World Series. Tony La Russa called me into the office after the game and said, man, I don't know what just happened. You went from being the worst pitcher on the team to honestly being maybe the best pitcher on the team. And I don't know what you did, but I love it. And he goes, and he looked at me and instead of being the only guy sitting out, he goes, now all I got to do is figure out whether you want to be a starter or whether you be a closer. And I said, hey, coach, hey, manager, sorry. I don't want to pitch anything in between. I want to pitch all 9 or I want to pitch the 9th. He goes, man, that is such a good answer. He goes, so tell me how you did it. I said, did what? He goes, you just closed out the World Series. Tell me how you did it. I said, coach, manager. I closed out. Yeah. I said, I closed out 9 appearances in the spring training. I closed out the World Series 62 more times, so 71. I closed out 9 more times the World Series in the postseason. I closed out the World Series 80 times. It was no big deal to me. I did it the whole year. He was like, that's a great lesson. And I was like, yeah, it's a pretty good lesson. So long story to your question of what gets me to that spot is that I know I'm not out there throwing Jordan Hicks fastballs 105 miles an hour. I know, though, that I do have the ability to be better here than the guy I'm facing. So when I'm pitching, I'm more prepared than the hitter that's facing me. I spent more time getting ready for this start than he did. I believe that my execution is better than his ability to beat me to my executed spot. I believe that I'm going to get the job done more than he does. And so when I do that, my little rinky-dink 90-mile-an-hour fastball or my little rinky-dink curveball or changeup or whatever, it's so much more effective because I believe in it. So it took me a lot of reps to do that, a lot of real trial and error to get that done. But when I'm on the mound and I'm really going good, you can bet you're behind that I'm looking at that hitter going, this guy's got no chance because I'm better than he is. Even like it could be Mike Trout, and people could be listening. If they could hear my thoughts, they'd go, dude, you're crazy. He's way better than you. But I don't think that, and that's what makes me get out sometimes.